Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the class of African literature. I hope you all are good and safe at your homes. So previously what we discussed? Previously we discussed about the Famish Road themes, basically the themes of the Famish Road, and what does this how he presented the suffering and how he presented the sublime beauty in those sufferings, and especially how he brought out happiness in the work in spite of having such pathetic situations or having such pathetic times at that in that time period, situation. So he the basically to bring out the purpose, bring out the happiness is in the work. It was basically his purpose to awaken his people and to urge his people to change their own fate and to urge them to do something for their own selves instead of waiting up for someone else, or instead of destroying their resources or lending them to someone else. So he wanted to make them aware that they are significant and they do matter. So in this lecture I would like to discuss about the significance of the word road, because it is quite prominent in the African literature, and Wolfgang also wrote poetry about the road, and the Ben Okra also discussed it in his in fact the title of his work is The Famish Road. It is not about the significance of the title, and I have already discussed the significance of the title in the previous lectures. Basically this lecture is about the significance of the word road, the description of the meaning, like Nigerian road building, and it's linked with the Famish Road. So this lecture is all about the term road and what does it denote, and how it is significant in the African literature. It is obviously it is also it does represent it is also used in the English literature or other literatures apart from the African literature. So moving on to the road, I'll first discuss the significance. So obviously the whole lecture is about the significance, but what does it denote basically? As we all know that roads, they carry a unique function because they both structurally divide territories as well as it link them. So because of this duality of purpose, a road constitutes a liminal space within an environment. Liminal space means a space that becomes a hybrid or that can be productive. So the road in the literature is often the representation of a journey to a particular place, and an indication of the fact that the road itself is not a place, at least in the sense that place is space to which meaning has been ascribed. So the symbolic road instead becomes a threshold that holds a unique relationship with its surrounding environment. The road is a central element with the Ben Okri's The Famish Road, which details the life of Azaru, a Nigerian Abiku child, and who travels because he was a spirit child, and he moves back and forth into the spirit world and the world of human beings. So he has traveled many roads, so he travels many roads. It is both symbolic and literal. And Ben Okri eventually presents the notion that Nigeria is also a spirit child. How is that? Because there is a quotation that I would like to quote out, is that that fond that all nations are children, it shocked him that ours too was an Abiku child, a spirit nation, a spirit child nation. What does that mean? Because spirit child nation, because Nigeria was moving back and forth. with the having military control or civilian control. Nigeria, after even having the independence, it wasn't stable, and government was moving back and forth. Government rule was moving back and forth. That's why Ben Okri related to the Abiku child nation. So while road building began as exploitative colonial operation, so Okri's utilization of the road within the novel introduces a new way to understand the history of the road building within Nigeria, basically. So if Nigeria represents a national body whose story is constantly being rewritten, like the life of an Abiku child, then the road acts as the symbolic paper that records its history. So and roads might conventionally imply a sense of liminality or lack of place. Okre describes that a road as a palimpsest of human experience, where meaning is constantly changing, scribed and erased. So roads, people come and go, but roads remains there. So he represented the road as it is recording the history of Nigeria. It is a paper that is that the history of Nigeria is on which history of Nigeria is being written. So according to him, it is the one thing that remains there. In fact, in the first sentence of the famished road, he has mentioned the first sentence, it acts as yes, I have mentioned it here. It acts as a symbolic genealogy of the beginnings of all the roads of the world. In the beginning, there was a river. The river became a road, and the road branched out to the whole world. And because the road was once a river, it was always hungry. And these opening lines, they highlight the clear contrast between the natural river and then unnatural, humanly constructed or man-made road. Road was once a river, and so that is why road is always hungry, means suggesting that because the word was preceded by a natural element, and it will be forever cursed by the famishment or emptiness if we do make any change in it. And that was the belief of the people, of the Nigerian people. And it is quite easy to assume the eco-critical stance that modernization and the destruction of the natural environment has created a sort of emptiness on the spaces of the Nigeria. And the historical and political climate of Nigeria at the time the novel is set demands for a more complex understanding of the road. Basically, the nation of the Nigeria was created by British imperialists, according to their own imagine. So the modern state of Nigeria is basically called the creation of the British. In fact, even the name Nigeria is reportedly a completely British creation. It is said that. So in accordance with the Okre's explanation of the formation of all roads, and Nigeria began as a river, then it became a series of roads that branched out of the rest of the world to export Nigeria's natural resources. So that was basically they were the British imperialists. They were exporting Nigeria's resources, and Nigerian people, Nigerian nation, they were unable to realize the importance of their own resources, and they were a nation that they didn't know about anything about the outside world. So the British people, they created a way for incoming and outgoing of the things. And it is said that Nigeria, or the roads in Nigeria, they were created for basically for exportation and exploitation. The country's sense of place is often disoriented. So the early human societies might be said that the place and society are fused as a unity. So, with the advent of these societies based on economic exchange, the conceptual fusion of space and society is broken, and then that is why Nigeria can be described as a society based on economic exchange, and thus the natural fusion between the Nigerian society and space was fractured when the British came and drew up its borders. And the Flemish road uses the road to both illustrate the fracture of the society that I mentioned, like the exploitation of the society, space and society, and it also introduced a way in which Nigeria can use the road to ascribe its own meaning, means to tell that whether the road were something constructive for them or something destructive, or and the road, it recorded everything, and it was giving a way to the foreigners to come into their lands and to rule over them, because they were uneducated people, they were illiterate, and although they were illiterate, but they had their traditions, their on system of law and order. Everything was well organized over there before the before the colonizers. So, at multiple points in the novel, the road is associated with the interspaces. Means interspaces means the areas that demonstrate the broken fusion of space and society that is presented by the Flemish road. And the word interspace, it indicates that roads are liminal areas that are between different words, means they give place to other to connect with it, means they connect but also feared because they seem almost placeless. For example, when Azaru is sick and becomes unconscious for an extended period of time, a three-headed spirit guide takes him on an extensive journey down a road in the spirit world. So I hope you read the text. If you have read the text, then you will be able to relate all the quotations. When the spirit advises Azaru not to eat because it will cause him to get stuck in the road, and if you eat anything you won't arrive and you won't be able to return, you will be stuck here in the dreaded interspaces, means the liminal places. So this statement, it both emphasizes the liminality of the interspace and also indicates that Azaru must be famished in order to travel the road. Means famishment thus becomes the requirement for travel and progress down the road, which illustrates that strife or the need for to do something is necessary for any progress to occur. Means if he wants to travel the world, he should be hungry, not food hungry, but he should be hungry for the exploration. So that is basically the he should be famished in order to do that, like he should have hunger for that, like hunger for food. So the spirit guide, it also explains to Azaru that there are monsters that will eat the traveler of roads. Like there are many strange things here that devour the traveler. There are many spirit eaters and monsters of the interspaces keep to the solid ground. The interspaces means means there if you remember, you may have read the poem a traveler. Means I don't exactly remember the I'm unable to recall the exact title of the poem, but that poem notes that in which there was a traveler who wants to go on an adventure, and there were one spirit that was asking him to stop, means there was a person, and but the travelers wanted to go on. So there is the same means the guide, the three headed spirit was guiding Azaru, that if he wants to travel, he had to avoid the things. It means there will be many things that may become obstacle in his travel, that may create a hindrance in his travel, but he has to keep his ground solid. So between these two passages highlight the interspaces, strife and solidity. A means are both introduced as necessary aspects for progress and travel down the road. And the use of the word interspace in association with the road indicates that symbolic link that roads may have had with the concepts of emptiness or famishment during the British imperialism. For this reason, the early history of the road building in Nigeria helps enlighten our understanding of the Okri's use of road within the novel. And the British colonization and exploitation of the natural resources of Nigeria was linked with the creation and development of the roads. How? Because they modernized the transportation system for Nigeria's resources. Means how? For the basically they modernized the transportation system to export the Nigeria's resources, and in order to do so, they were actually destroying or exploiting their resources. So existing roads were expanded, new ones were built, as well as railway lines. As we studied in the Volsoenkas, the line and the Jewel Broca was against that, and they were building railway lines also. In many areas of Nigeria, roads were constructed entirely for the purpose of exploitation. Whether it was cotton in the Itiki district or other agriculture products throughout the rest of the country. And the British, they had only one purpose, and their primary aim was to exploit agricultural resources and for their personal benefit. They were not they were exporting, and in order to export, or in doing so, they were exploiting their resources. So at one hand, they were like saying that they were doing good for the economy, but they were doing things for their personal benefits. And in the early period of colonial rule, the evidence it shows that things that happened shows that British succeeded. And for Nigeria, the creation of the roads, it does signify the exportation of the natural resources to the rest of the world. And in terms of the early Nigerian economic development, roads can be symbolically characterized as the continual famishment or elimination of the resources from the country. So thus the roads, they create famishment. So and as well as they symbolize it. How they create famishment? Because they were just exporting the resources of Nigeria to the rest of the world, and it was emptying its resources. So that is how it was creating famishment for the people of Nigeria, because they didn't know how to utilize their resources to make progress in their economy. So with this new historical understanding of the development of Nigerian roads, it is now it is necessary to understand how British colonizers had an impact on Nigeria's environment, and they were making changes in their environment. They were the making adding things, and they were subtracting things. They were doing many things over there, and it was causing Nigeria a lot of disturbance or distortion, and the Britishers, they paid no attention to this, and for them it wasn't any problem. So they were just means they were just taking power of, or taking control of their territories from the tribal control. So on one hand, when where the roads were creating interspaces, on the other hand it was also creating on the as I mentioned earlier, it was also rewriting means where means it was also became a place there the history of the Nigeria was written and rewritten. So the road becomes a written history, and as well as a space that was bound and created by soul of the generation that is creating it, and that was what Aukrey was trying to present in this work. Means it was just retrieving the history. Means it was writing and rewriting the history of Nigeria, everything that was happening. Each new generation, it begins with nothing and with everything, and they all know the earlier mistakes. They know the early plans, the original intentions. So each generation has to reconnect the origins of themselves. So it was kind of a the road, it was kind of a place that was recording everything, and no one and no any generation will ever be able to finish the completion of the road. So here it does represent as the palimpsest of human history, like it is constantly under construction. How it is constantly under construction? Because it is constantly writing and rewriting the history of the Nigerian generations. Here's a quotation I have mentioned from the text, which does represent the retrieval of the history, or the palimpsest of human history. Like we travelled on, I dragged behind, my stomach flaming, my soul's wounded, and my blood no longer red but blue like ink, inscribing my barely decipherable history on the matted weeds. Means it does demonstrate that the way in which the road acts as palimpsest, and because Azaro's blood literally becomes ink in which he inscribes his history. So while it may be a coincidence, and the fact that his souls are bleeding onto the road reiterates that the road is literally the record of the souls of each generation of the people. So if history is literally being recorded on the road, the road becomes a palimpsest where all the meaning is scribed, where all the or it may become a place or written piece or piece of work where all the history of the Nigeria was getting recorded. And the notion of the road that is recording the history or everything, it denote that it is keeping the record of the souls of generation that repeated throughout the novel. So when Azaru asked the spirit guide why it is that these people will die, When they finish the building the road, the spirit guide responds that I suppose they'll have nothing to do, nothing to dream for, and no need for a future. They will perish of completeness, of boredom. The road is their soul, the soul of their history. And this is in the fact that the famishment and the strife are necessary for the life to continue, to keep on living, for to making progress. Because if you may have heard that perfection is that, so that is how the perfection is, that if you don't have anything to dream for, if you don't have anything to look forward to, you'll die of boredom. For example, if I take the example of these days, means if you are not having online classes, or you are not having anything to do, because you cannot go out, and it is really hard to be at home, and means you just get bored of doing everything. So if you don't have anything to do, you will just die, means die of boredom, and you won't make progress. And if you have anything to do, if you make day to day goals, you will always look forward to do something. So that is why he said, at the three-headed spirit said that if they complete the road, they will die, their soul will perish, and because they won't have anything else to do. So that is why the hunger for something and strive for something is necessary. So it indicates that people always need a dream and a purpose, and that road provides a means of the purpose, for this purpose. And road may seem like a place where nothing where no meaning is ascribed, but it is actually a transitive place where meaning is constantly changing, means where meaning is constantly being ascribed. Yeah, the past is not quite past. So this is the elaboration of this quote. According to the Ben Okri, the road is essentially as a it is a constant process of destruction and construction or creation. So it is a the road this makes the road complex but important for understanding the implication of road building to Nigeria's growth as a nation within the famished road. So it is also like describes he describes the road as that the nation is the product, a constantly in flux of a history of recent chances and sudden reversals, so, rather than the result of smooth flow from a determinate origin to a predetermined and preferably glorious future. So the road describes the famished road. The nation of the Nigeria is always in a flux, always being reversed and rewritten by the mistakes of previous generations. The road is not a smooth flow from one point to the next, but a bloody, imperfect and even mental place. So means the road as a place where meaning is repeatedly ascribed and erased. So like it is now that so the road becomes an important aspect of the about understanding Nigeria's identity as a nation. So in order to also understand the political and economic climate of the Nigeria at that time when the novel was written. For example, the major export created a new significance of Nigeria on the global scale. Sorry, it was the I guess I'm not sure. It was the exportation of the oil. So this created quite a large significance of the Nigeria, but Nigerians, they were unaware of their own significance, and they didn't know how to make progress by using their own resources. And Nigeria held a constantly negative understanding of their own selves, and they were just unable to understand their own resources, and they also had a negative outlook towards the outside world. So so their own ability to authenticate their own image and their own sense of place or community were both lost, and because of the change in their economic situation. So if we look to the Okre's understanding of Nigeria as an Abiku child, we can say that Abiku nation is not limited by its history of exploitation or colonization. So it is also mentioned at the end of the novel, means he opens up about the understanding of the road through the voice of the Azaru's father, who describes a vision that he sees when he is asleep. Like he says that ancestors taught me many philosophies. Sorry, my father, priest of roads, appeared to me and said I should keep my door open. My heart must be open, my life must be open, a road must be open. A road that is open is never hungry. Road must be open, like it is uh, it is like a page which can be rewritten or reshaped. So that is what it meant, that if you want to make progress, if you want to change your economic condition, what you have to do, you have to open up the ways for the people to come and go in your country, and to come visit your country, and the road that is constantly written and rewritten, it will never be famished, it will never it will never be famished, it will never be hungry because an open and road is not never hungry. It will always have something to write and rewrite. So if the road embodies the soul of generations, then each generation's heart and life must also be open to change as well. So Nigeria began as an invention of British imperialists for the purpose of exploitation. The road becomes a territory where nation place sense can be authenticated and rewritten. So the idea of creating and authentic identity is also reflected by Azaru's fathers, and there was also a quote that I think I didn't mention here. Okay, the quote was like, the child of our will refuses to stay till we have made sacrifice and displayed our serious intent to bear the weight of unique destiny. It means that it will Nigeria can only make progress if it will get united, and it will decide its own destiny. And in the previous lectures I have mentioned it, that it was basically the voice of the dad was basically the voice of the Okre, which was reawakening the senses of Nigerian people, so that they may take stand, and so that they may become a nation again. To conclude, we can say that Okre use of the road, it just resists the definition of roads as solely as means of exploitation. Instead, the road becomes a symbolic place on which Nigeria's history can be written, and also it becomes a reflection of Nigeria as an Abiku child, or so it creates a place for understanding Nigeria's cyclical political and economic climate. So, sorry about that. So he has depicted many dimensions of he has depicted road with many dimensions, that it is also a film set. It is not only exploitation but the exploitation, and it was also soul of the generation, because it was recording the history of Nigeria. And he says that roads are a necessary entity, no matter how long or difficult they might be to travel. So, in a sense, that Nigeria has been reborn and will perhaps continue to be reborn many times over before it can find its destiny. So, this was what Ben Okri was trying to tell the people of Nigeria. He was not lamenting the exploitation of resources of Nigeria in the hands of British imperialists. Rather, he was trying to give another message, that it is in their own hands to rebuild their destiny. And as it is said that Nigeria began by being named after a river by the London Times. So he says that it have to make its own way, it has to find its own destiny. So the means if we look in the more greatest perspective, we can say that the novel, it doesn't address to this African nation or Nigerian country of Nigeria. Rather, it does address to the all human beings. Means all human beings, they travel the same road. So means if you are open to travel the roads, and if you other let your roads travel, you will always learn something, you will always have something to look forward to. And in order to change your destiny, in order to change the course of your water, you have to make way, you have to rise for yourself. So basically, it is story for all of the humanity in this transitory world, or in the rapidly transitioning world. So because we must be hungry for change, ready to create our own authentic identity, and the only way in which change will occur will be up to our own openness as a community of people. And if we are open to change, we can learn anything. If we are not open to change, we will just we'll just marginalize ourselves. For example, the Okonkwo, he was not open to change, and in the end what happened, he committed suicide. So this was basically the significance of the road, and what Ben Okri was trying to convey by using the word road, or by using the word famished road in his work, throughout his work. So I have put references from where I have collected data, and there are all 4 references. You can visit these references, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for your patience. Stay blessed.